The year 1901 marked a turning point in the Philippine Revolution. With General Emilio Aguinaldo's capture in March, a wave of surrender swept through the ranks of Filipino leaders, many seeking peace after years of relentless warfare. But amidst the domino effect of capitulation, General Vicente Lukban, the indomitable leader of Samar, remained defiant, unyielding in his resistance against American forces. Lukban, a man of unwavering resolve, was offered tempting terms of surrender, including the governorship of Samar and other privileges, yet he refused, his stubborn spirit undeterred. His enemies whispered of a grander ambition, suggesting that Lukban believed his continued resistance would secure a substantial reward for peace. While the whispers of a financial incentive remained unsubstantiated, Lukban's actions spoke volumes. He had assumed command in Leyte after General Ambrosio Mojica's surrender, issuing orders in Spanish that seemed to emanate from a Madrid War Department rather than the mountainous wilds of Samar. His language, though perhaps perplexing to his foot soldiers, was understood thanks to his competent lieutenants, such as Florentino Peñaranda, who translated them into Ware-Ware. Lukban's belief in his own success was fueled by a series of bold attacks against American forces. The Balangiga encounter had only emboldened his resolve. In October 1901, a force of 400 bowlermen under his command attacked Company E of the 9th Infantry Regiment, resulting in 10 American deaths and 6 injuries. This was followed by another attack on the same regiment in December, annihilating 18 American soldiers. The insurgents also launched a decisive attack on Santa Margarita, a town serving as a concentration camp for natives allied with the Americans, burning 300 houses and seizing prisoners. These victories, along with reports of American troop movements and successful rebel uprisings across Samar, seem to indicate a tide turning in favor of Lukban's forces. Yet the appointment of General Jacob Smith, a ruthless commander with a scorched earth policy, marked a shift in the American strategy. Smith, determined to crush the rebellion at any cost, implemented a brutal campaign, employing starvation tactics and widespread destruction. The consequences were dire. Food blockades caused widespread suffering among the Samareños, forcing many to seek refuge in American-controlled concentration camps to survive. Lukban's base of support began to crumble, as the very towns he had once relied on buckled under the pressure of Smith's tactics. The tide seemed to be turning against Lukban. While reports surfaced of surrender attempts by the general, Smith rejected them, declaring that negotiations were over. The Americans, fueled by propaganda and aided by local volunteers, were tightening their grip on the island. The Americans honed their tactics, using native guides and scouts to track Lukban's movements and exploit his terrain knowledge against him. The emergence of the Philippine Scouts, a force composed of Filipino soldiers trained by American veterans, proved crucial in the fight against Lukban's forces. These scouts, skilled in tracking and jungle warfare, were instrumental in closing the net around the elusive general. Captain Francis H. Chaul, a seasoned officer with a deep understanding of Samar's terrain, orchestrated a decisive raid on Lukban's stronghold in December 1901. His force, guided by a native scout named Joko, braved perilous trails and deadly traps set by Lukban's men. In a fierce battle, Chaul's men emerged victorious, pushing back Lukban's forces with heavy losses. However, Lukban remained elusive, slipping away from Chaul's grasp. The hunt for the last remaining Filipino guerrilla leader continued, fueled by the American public's desire to see the rebellion finally crushed. In February 1902, native spies revealed Lukban's location in the village of Tami. Captain George Bell Jr. quickly assembled a force under the command of Lieutenant Alphonse Striebler to capture the elusive general. Striebler, a former Prussian soldier, led a group of scouts on a grueling pursuit through the treacherous mountainous terrain of Samar. The scouts endured unforgiving conditions, traversing dense jungles, navigating treacherous slopes, and battling exhaustion and hunger. They captured prisoners who provided vital information, leading them closer to Lukban's hideout. On February 22, 1902, Striebler's men finally cornered Lukban in a small village. The general, realizing escape was impossible, surrendered peacefully, uttering the word paz, peace, as he raised his hands. His capture marked a significant victory for the Americans, effectively ending the last organized resistance in Samar and signaling the final chapter of the Philippine Revolution. The capture of General Vicente Lukban, a man who had defied surrender for so long, marked the end of a tumultuous era. His story, one of unwavering determination, resilience, and masterful military tactics, remains an enduring testament to the spirit of the Filipino people in their struggle for independence.